sometimes I listen back to the videos and I think, yeah, I'm sort of leaving out the negative parts. So like sometimes I just ignore that people may give you a bad response when you're sharing, and I ignore that people do bad things for no reason. Like in when I'm speaking, that is gone because that's what I do in real life. As soon as somebody does something bad, I'm like, I don't take it personally, and I forget about it. So it's not a big deal. But obviously, when you're sharing like that you're depressed or you're anxious, or that you're feeling suicidal, or whatever stress or strain you may have, and you go and talk to your friends and they give you I don't want to say bad response, because every response is a good response, because you're going to learn something either way. You're going to learn something about your friendship, or you're going to learn something about your life. So that's the way that I see life now. So it's good to share, because it's also a bonding with the person, and sometimes as soon as you share, they share. And I found it creates a deeper, well, sharing something is beautiful. And like if you've gone through something hard together, or no, separately, but you share the same story, it bonds you a bit. Or unfortunately sometimes in a bad way, but in a toxic way, let's say. So psychopaths do use that to their advantage, yes. So I am well aware of the bad sides of life, or the horrible sides. It's just that I don't see it as bad anymore. It's just life. Life isn't a fairy tale. You're not going to go to your friend and get a psychotherapist answer. Some people may, but like it doesn't necessarily, like, psychotherapists are still extremely useful. Krishnamurti said bad things about it because he thought it's all talking about the ego, but it's not necessary. It also sort of works with what he's saying. He's obviously not been in psychotherapy because it helped me a lot, and talking to someone and then getting another perspective is often very helpful, because most of the times the reason why we're in trouble is because we've got this tunnel vision, and as soon as there's a third perspective we feel better. And not, there's also bad therapists, like it can happen, it's life, but you can tell and then you change it, and we still learn from it. It's the same as when people break up with relationships. Sometimes they're like, well, I don't want to give it up. I've been together with them for so many years. And I always say, but if it's bad, it's bad. So if it's not working, and you know it's not working, then it needs to end. And they're clinging onto ideas is usually what keeps us on. So the idea of staying in a relationship, the idea of making it work, that sometimes doesn't allow us to accept what the reality is. If the reality is you don't feel comfortable with this person, or this person makes you feel a certain way, and you've tried to work on it but it didn't work, why would you then surrender to it because of an idea? Like, it's hard, but this is what life is about. So if you have a relationship that breaks up, that doesn't mean that you failed. That doesn't mean that you suck at relationships. It doesn't mean anything more than anything. It means that you have commitment, you've shown loyalty, you've probably learned a lot of lessons, and we grow apart, and then we break up, and then we move on to the next. It's never, like, even my relationship to a psychopath, I learned so much from it. So it's never, some people would say that's a bad, well, it is a bad relationship, but because I was in this hardcore relationship, I learned so much. I shouldn't have been as stubborn and stayed as long, but that just proves that I needed to learn a harder lesson. So I don't see it with any grief or vengeance or vindictive thoughts or anything like that. I learned from it, and I went into it, and there's no need to mourn what happened. There's no need to, like, that's what it is, and I've decided to go another way. And I don't need to feel bad about what has happened, because it's already done. It doesn't change anything. It's over and finished. So, if not every one of your friends will, basically nobody will understand you. You're the only one that can understand yourself. You're the only one that knows what you're trying to say when you're implying something. You're the only one that knows what you're overcompensating for. So you're basically the only one that will understand you. But talking to other people always helps. Just saying it out loud helps. If you feel a certain way, talking about it. And if someone gives you a belligerent, rude response, then you've learned something about that person. And that's it. And yeah, in my talk, sometimes I just blank out the negatives, and that's just because that's how my life is now. I get very excited about meeting a new puppy, or seeing a butterfly skating along with me or flying along with me as I'm skating, I only need tiny little things that I will focus on. I don't think about the fact that I woke up in pain and need to go climbing to function, otherwise I need to take drugs. No. Or that I have no future, or that I have no money, or that I don't think about that. I don't have to think about that. I just live in the present. And the reason I'm talking about that is because you can do this as well. You can live in the present right now. Krishnamurti talks about your life, and it'll forever be your life. It'll be every human being's life. So he's questioning the way we are living right now. I listened to him, understood him, and more or less from one day to the next, I was still in the same life, but my world was completely different. So everything now, I noticed the butterflies next to me. Before it was a tunnel vision of sadness and victimhood, and this has happened to me. People will never understand me. I'm broken, I need someone to save me. And turns out, the only one that can save me is me. So Krishnamurti helped me understand that. And if you're suffering, and if you're struggling, talking about it helps. And that is one way of leading to acceptance. So if you can't talk about it yet, you haven't accepted it yet. And as soon as you talk about it, you've accepted it a bit more. And then once you laugh about it, then you're there. So I can laugh about my brain damage because I've accepted it. I'm not fighting it. I'm surprised I'm still alive. So life isn't perfect. Life isn't fair. Your friends are selfish, and everybody lives in an egocentric worldview, and nobody will ever understand you because nobody but you was there. So that sounds lonely, but I'm trying to sound empowering, because all you need is for you to accept what happened, and that's the important part. So what others say and do doesn't really matter. All that matters is you accepting it. You accepting your past. You accepting that this victimhood, this baggage, this chip on your shoulder, whatever you're dragging on, you don't need to drag it on anymore as soon as you've accepted it. So you need to face it. You need to deal with it. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to be humble. And I'm sorry, but you're not that special. That's basically what it is. I'm just a normal human being, that's it. But I'm alive and breathing. And that's all I need to be happy. And then I go outside and see some smiling eyes, and everything's sweet. It's all I need. Like, it's all you need to be happy. I don't need money, I don't need health. It's all good. So, anyway. I don't wanna it is about you saving yourself, but I want to underscore how important it was in my life to be able to talk about my issues. And now I just casually say, well, my issue used to be my mum didn't love me. Before, it was something I had to hide. And it's all about that, not hiding that anymore. And we don't realize how much stress, how much conflict, how much thinking, how much strain we put on our body just to keep this bag with us, reminding ourselves that we're a victim. For what? Why? It's over, it's done, it's finished. So why drag it on into the present? And that's it. Thank you very much for listening, and talk to you soon. One love.